Today, we're talking about how you can now use a CT scanner to see the hits inside a booster pack without having to open the pack itself. So, I know I'm a little late to the game on this one. This news came out about 3 weeks ago. However, if you haven't heard of what's going on, do not skip this video. It's so critical that you stick around and inform yourself on exactly how this new technology is going to change and impact the market for Pokemon TCG. So we are going to probably have to, after this video, adjust our investment or collection strategy. With that being said, let's talk about exactly what's going on and what Wayne was able to uncover. So, shout out to Wayne Strange Brain on YouTube. It's a channel on YouTube with a little over 1,000 subscribers. This individual, we'll call him Wayne. Wayne was able to spend $1,500 on a used CT scanner on eBay to fix up that scanner, test it, do a little research over a 3-month period, and then uncover again how this scanner can be used to scan booster packs in the Pokemon TCG. So, how Wayne explained it, again, no malicious intent by this individual, just a very curious, smart individual. Wayne went to his local LGS and he found a first edition Jungle Booster Pack. He brought it home to his new CT scanner and just thought, can he possibly see inside the pack? Well, on the left hand side there, you can see the image of him and his makeshift stand within the CT scanner. Then on the right, you can see exactly what the result was of his findings. Again, this took 3 months of his time to adjust and test and figure out how this worked. But nonetheless, on the right hand side there with that gray fuzzy image, you can see the outline of his hit that he had within his pack. It just so happened that the one pack he bought had a hollow hit. I don't think this works if it wasn't a hollow inside. However, nonetheless, he had a hollow inside and he was able to compare that gray, shadowy image that he got from his CT scanner to all the possible hits in the jungle pack, and he was able to align them and see, yup, that's a hollow Pinsir. And you can see, of course, he has his phone there for comparison, and then the CT image on the right, and they align. And that same philosophy can be tied to any hollow pattern card in the TCG hobby. It can be the first edition Pinsir, it can be a hollow base set Charizard, it can be a modern hollow card that you unboxed yesterday, right? Any hollow card that has this difference in the pattern of the card itself, you're able to scan and see the hit of within these CT images. So I wanted to uncover this because some of us might be thinking, that's great, I don't collect vintage, this doesn't really matter to me, but I wanted to just highlight as well, it's not just vintage, but if we just stay with vintage for a minute, we do have to recognize just how much money there is in vintage Pokemon today. So again, the easiest comparison or way to explain this is, what's stopping someone today going out and buying a first edition base pack, spending $10,000 on a first edition base pack, scanning it to see if there's a first edition Charizard, and if there's not, okay, sell it and then go buy another one. Scan it, sell it, go buy another one until you get the hit that you're looking for. I think a near mint first edition Charizard would probably grade for an 8, 9 in PSA, and then you're going for $20,000-$30,000. So you can see already how this has a big impact on the finances of collecting vintage Pokemon. So with that being said though, we're going to get into how it's not just going to affect vintage, but again, it's so important to see what is technology capable of today, and then how is that going to influence how art we're collecting today, how we're collecting vintage and other modern TCG. So the one thing I wanted to highlight is some people would go out there and say, okay, that's great, the research is out there, but how is this going to affect me right away? Well, after the weekend of when that video first came out from Wayne, a company was already set up, I believe the following Monday, with services for scanning packs. So again, Wayne's video only highlighted scanning for holos in vintage booster packs that he purchased through his LGS, right? Not only does this card collecting service, scanning service, allow you to scan booster packs for anywhere from $15 to $75. However, they are also already offering booster box scanning and case scanning. Because I don't know about you all as you're hearing me talk about this, or if you already heard about this in the last 2 to 3 weeks, but that's where my mind immediately went is, okay, great. Maybe we won't buy packs. Maybe we'll buy boxes. Oh, boxes are no good. Okay, well, what about modern cases today? Maybe instead of buying booster boxes on one-off, maybe for us that have a lot of money to spend, maybe people are just going to have to invest in cases. Oh, we can't buy cases either because they can scan through cases. Like, that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy that technology to not only scan through 10 cards in a booster pack to see the hit, not only does that exist, but you're telling me that I can put a modern booster box on this CT scanner with 18 packs in 2 different rows, and you can scan through all 36 packs altogether and tell me all 36 hits, if there are 36 hits, or what the hits are out of those 36 packs. That's crazy to me. So this is the one thing I wanted to share. I'm not going to share what company this is offering this. However, I thought it was important to at least expand on this because, again, it's not only pack scanning anymore, it's already box scanning, it's already case scanning as well, which again is crazy. So with that being said, though, I do want to talk about some pros and cons to what we're hearing. So a lot of what I'm saying right now is a fairly negative, and there's purpose behind that, but there are pros. If you had to take a step back and think about it, there are pros to this, okay? So first off is you can now validate if a box is legit or fake when purchasing vintage. That's pretty crazy. So the Logan Paul famous first edition case opening. He bought, what was it, $250,000 that he spent, or $1 million? I don't remember how much he spent, but he spent a crazy amount of money on first edition base set boxes, opened them up, and they were all GI Joes inside. Well, now Logan Paul, for a small fee, can scan that case next time and validate what's inside of it before even opening it. So that's crazy to me. The next thing that you can do with a service like this and the ability to see within packs without opening is you can now keep cards sealed in the packs while knowing the value of the cards inside the pack. So this is something Wayne actually talked about within his original video, and something I don't think a lot of people thought about. But think about this. There's action figures today that, for vintage action figures, there's a market out there. action figures in pristine condition in the box go, depending on what they are, go for a large sum of money. Again, it's just like collecting cards. There's a market out there for things that are kept in their box in pristine condition. Think about that concept, but for the Pokemon TCG. We don't have that today. The only thing we have today is when you open the pack, you get your hit, maybe you sleeve it, maybe you put it in a top loader, maybe you even go to grade it. However, now with CT scanning, you can scan a pack, determine the centering of that card, potentially determine the quality of that card, and then get a price on that pack itself. So what would the market, how would the market react to that? If I post that I have a first edition Charizard in a first edition base set pack unopened, what kind of market would there be? That's crazy. And again, that I would say in a way that's a pro to the market. It gives a new way to collect, which again is a pro. There's cons to it, but I do want to put that on the pro side. Now, okay, let's get to the cons of why this definitely is not great for the hobby. Well, one, in my opinion, I think this adds a ton of issues to buying vintage and other product without knowing it was scanned. So some people are saying, again, if I go back to that other image of that one company that's offering services of scanning product, what they could do technically is do something like PSA, where you send in a booster pack, you send in a booster box, they scan it, and then they encase it in something you can't open, and then they label it with exactly what's inside. That's something that's possible, but that's only something that, a certain company might do. What about the people that are going to now use this CT scanner for malicious reasons outside of something more formal and professional like that? This is a lot more like pack weighing, where today you have individuals that open a vintage booster box, they can weigh and find the light packs, they can weigh and find the heavy packs, and then they can post light or heavy or unweighed on eBay or Marketplace. And today you kind of have to take their word, unless you can, of course, come home, you can weigh the pack yourself. But if someone says a pack is unweighed today, there's no real way to validate that that individual didn't weigh the pack. Very similar to CT scanning. CT scanning, you can buy a vintage box from someone today. They can tell you it wasn't scanned, but how in the world would you ever validate something like that? So that's a major con to this news about what's now possible with modern day technology. So that kind of goes into the second point. It opens up a new avenue for scammers. So my first point was more so not even just for scamming, but who's not to say today, I'll scan one of my packs and I'll say, hey, Charles, here is a pack that I scanned. There's nothing in it, but I'll sell it to you for $100. Okay, well, maybe Charles forgets that the pack is scanned. Maybe, he trades it in a bulk deal and forgets to disclaim that the pack is scanned, right? So then my friend sells it to someone else, that individual sells it to someone else. So again, it's hard to track whether things are scanned or not. That's set aside. It doesn't even have to be malicious, but it can be malicious. And that's the point of number 2. It opens a new avenue for scammers. And on top of that, number 3, it's only a matter of time before this becomes more widely available and impacts modern sets today. So I compare this similar to kind of AI, where ChatGPT, we didn't have it one day, then the next day we had ChatGPT. Then it seemed like a week went by, 2 weeks went by or a month went by, and now ChatGPT is built into everything. Everyone is saying that they have AI. Every AI is built into, again, it seems like almost all technology within just a few months. I feel like that's going to be something similar to this, where, hey, it took an individual 3 months to figure this out, but now that it's out, it can be adopted and expanded upon a lot faster. And we already saw that with at least one company setting up shop to scan packs and boxes for a price. The other thing, and I know this is going to be a very hot topic, is I think this is very scary, especially for those that maybe act in bad faith today. So, again, once this becomes more widely available, you really have to start trusting resellers online, that things aren't scanned, that they don't have a scanner at home, that they don't know someone that has a scanner. Similar to your local TCG shops. Unfortunately, I even know of myself several local shops that weigh packs today. It's unfortunate that it happens. I hope everyone has a shop that they can trust, that they know of, and that they've been going to for a long time. However, if shops, and again, not all shops are bad, right? There's plenty of great actors out there, that treat everyone well and that are in this hobby because they truly love the hobby and supporting others in their local community. That's great. With that being said, there are also some shops that are more in it for the money. So if they're already weighing packs today, who's not to say that a little $1,500 investment, maybe $2,000 investment, isn't going to give them the extra edge they're looking for to weigh boxes before they sell them to the public. Doesn't have to be just vintage, could be modern as well. Think about Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade came out $90 a box, $100 a box when it first came out. Your local LGS is probably selling for $120 maybe. They can scan Twilight Masquerade when it first came out, and what was Grey Ninja going for? 200, 230 when it came out. So do that a few times, find a few Grey Ninjas, find a few other cards in that box that are above that 120 that they could get from selling it to the public. How long does it take them to sell off their invest or make their investment back, right? It's very scary for me. That's the scariest part of this whole thing, is resellers and local shops that act in bad faith. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it's possible. So what's next then for this market? First off, I think the market's going to come down a bit on vintage. I don't know how the vintage market can stay afloat like this. Some people are saying, hey, this is technology that's already been kind of talked about quietly in the vintage market. People were probably already doing this for months, if not years already in the vintage market. So it might be priced in a bit, but now that it's more widely known, who's going to want to buy this stuff for their collection and investment, knowing there's a potential it's already been scanned and validated that nothing's inside? So I think this is going to affect the vintage market. On top of that, again, I think we have to accept CT scanning's here to stay, and the market and collectors are going to have to adjust. With that being said, I'm struggling myself to figure out, what do I do with my collection? You can see just over my shoulder here, I have all the Sword and Shield booster boxes. I have every Scarlet Violet booster box that's out so far. I have almost every Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet ETB behind me. Why would I keep those? If other people today are going to be scanning their boxes to see what's out there and what's possible, what's going to happen in 5 or 10 years if I want to sell those? You know, if those boxes today are worth, I don't even know, maybe $3,000 altogether, what are they going to be in 5 to 10 years if everyone else scanned their boxes and figured out what was inside? And now no one trusts me that I didn't scan mine. So do I sell my boxes today, or am I okay with them going to zero in value? Do I not care? That's really more of what it came to for myself is, okay, maybe I need to adjust my collecting strategy to singles, and then I need to sell my boxes unless I only really care for them to be for display purposes. So I think collectors are going to have to adjust their collection and investment strategy. And then lastly, I think Pokemon and other TCGs are going to have to react to this. I don't know what they're going to do. People keep saying that Pokemon took way too long already to adjust to packs being weighed. People are wondering what Pokemon's going to do for this. Are they going to do anything at all? What can they even do? I was thinking myself, like, what can they put a little tiny sheet of, metal or like aluminum or something like that they line the pack with? Or how does that work? How do you mess up a CT scan so that you can't see within it? I don't know. So that's going to be the most interesting thing, is how is Pokemon going to react? Because until then, I don't know how you collect Pokemon in the sealed form. I don't know. What do you guys think? So that's everything that I had to talk about with CT scanning and how it's affecting the market and what exactly is going on. I think there's some really interesting ways in how it's going to affect the market. Like I said, how cool would it be to own a first edition booster pack with a first edition Charizard in it and it's not even open? That is genuinely a very cool thought to me. However, there's so many downsides to this technology now being released into the market. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be a positive? Do you think nothing's going to even happen and we'll continue on like this for the next 10 years and everything will stay the same? Or are you also adjusting your collection strategy? Let me know down below. And then with that being said as well, thanks for stopping by. My name's PokeCam. I'm going to also put a Discord link in the chat below, so feel free to check the description of this video. Again, join me in Discord. I'd love to stay in touch with all of you. And then, again, leave me a like, subscribe, or comment below what your thoughts are on this whole situation. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night.